So I'm here with Max Blumenthal, and he confronted Adam Schiff at the protest for the eviction moratorium over the weekend. And I want to let you know who Adam Schiff is, and this is important because of the stuff that Max says to him. So Adam Schiff, there was no bigger Russiagator than Adam Schiff. Here he is. Adam Schiff, Trump colluded with Russia in plain sight. Okay, there we go. So Schiff's conspiracy theory diatribes made him an overnight star of the Russiagate drama. This is from Truthdig. He had once been a milquetoast moderate, as journalist Ryan Lizza put it, but through his grandstanding, the once obscure centrist suddenly emerged as an unlikely face of Democratic resistance to the new president, a liberal hero. And when the House Intelligence Committee opened its investigation into allegations of Russian meddling in the U.S. elections, Adam Schiff zeroed in on conspiracy theories. Desperate for evidence of Trump-Russia collusion, Democrats latched onto the dossier produced by Christopher Steele, a former agent of Britain's MI5 who was funded by the law firm tied to Clinton and the Democratic National Committee. Given Schiff's history, it was little surprise when he thrust himself headlong into the paranoid theater of Russiagate. By casting suspicion on every attempt at diplomacy and driving the resurgence of Cold War hostility between Washington and Moscow, Adam Schiff was poised to deliver another cash cow to his benefactors in the arms industry. Since entering Congress in 2002, Adam Schiff hasn't met a war he didn't like. He has backed the invasion of Iraq, cheered on NATO's regime change operations in Libya, heartily endorsed the U.S.-Saudi war on Yemen, clamored for direct U.S. intervention in Syria, and lent his signature to virtually every AIPAC-crafted resolution that has landed on his desk. The arms industry has rewarded Adam Schiff handsomely, pumping over $70,000 into his campaign coffers in just 2016 alone. Schiff's largest donor this past campaign cycle was Northrop Grumman, the defense giant. Raytheon was close behind it in its contributions. So, Max, you went up to Adam Schiff, one of the most pro-war, anti-Palestinian Democrats in Congress. He showed up at the eviction moratorium for a photo op with Jesse Jackson. I asked him if the $4 billion for apartheid Israel and regime change he supports should instead be spent on free housing. So, here we go. Here we go.
Representative Schiff, do you think we could reallocate $4 billion from apartheid Israel to free housing for Americans? The $4 billion that you allocate every year to apartheid Israel? Why Jesse Jackson opposes all the wars you support? Representative Schiff, Jesse Jackson opposes all the wars you support.
Can we give them a moment, please? Can we just give them a moment, please?
What about... Is there any war you have opposed, Representative Schiff? Is there any war you've opposed? Those wars cost a lot that could be spent on housing for Americans.
Can we just give them a moment?
Give him a moment.
No.
No, why would you give a powerful person a moment? Why would you let them alone? Why would you not make them answer a question? He's there for a photo op. The guy's the biggest corrupt warmongering maniacs in the world. And he should be confronted, not embraced. Here's Adam Schiff lining up for a photo op and praying with Jesse Jackson, who has consistently spoken out against the costly and inhumane wars Adam Schiff supports. So that's Jesse Jackson Sr. was there?
That's what it said.
Yeah. While Barack Obama was preparing for his 60th birthday at his 30-acre seaside Martha's Vineyard mansion, where 500 guests will enjoy a concert by Pearl Jam, Jesse Jackson was fighting through very visible health issues in order to be there to make a statement against mass evictions. And then he was seated in a chair. He was struggling to walk. And then he became the target of a giant photo op featuring this warmonger. I mean, he had no power to resist it. I don't know if he would have anyway, but, you know, Adam Schiff just swooped in out of nowhere.
So here,
it was disgusting.
There's more. Here we go.
Adam Schiff done but talk about a new Cold War with Russia, supporting Israel, giving money to war instead of the poor. He stands for everything Martin Luther King was against. And he's here for a phony photo op. This pro-war right-wing Democrat wants a photo op with Jesse Jackson when Jesse Jackson opposes every war that he supported. Why did you support the genocide in Yemen? Why do you support the brutal assaults on Palestinians.
Hey, no.
Why not? He's a
Can you
pro-war
please stop?
legislator.
Can you please
This
stop?
is a public space.
This is something not about
You don't
this.
control this. The
I
people
don't,
control this.
but they're here with their time. They are taking time for us as the
He's here
people.
for a
They're
photo
not
op.
taking
No,
time.
Gives all
he is
our
not.
money to war.
Please stop.
War is part of the topic.
Look, you have the freedom of speech, but this is about something else. This is about people's homes.
Yes.
People are
Why
going
are
through
we
a crisis
spending
right
$4
now.
billion on Israel every year instead of free housing for Americans?
Thank you so much. $1.5 trillion. Yes, fuck Israel. We all agree, but just
Adam Schiff doesn't agree. He should be pressured. This is not your friend. $4 billion a year to apartheid Israel. We need to put pressure on these people who are giving our money away that should be spent on free housing.
So it's amazing. So it looked like that woman was going to ask for your manager. That's what I.
Are you calling her a Karen?
I didn't. I just said it looked like she was going to ask for your manager. That's what. Hey, they're acknowledging the plebes, so please stop asking questions.
Yeah. Well, this is about people's housing, except for people who live outside the United States,
Right.
whose housing Adam Schiff wants to destroy.
Right.
Like people in the Gaza Strip, where he lusts to see homes bombed with bombs made by his campaign contributors. Like people's homes in Venezuela, where Adam Schiff is aggressively supporting sanctions that explicitly aim to destroy Venezuela's Misión Vivienda, the free housing mission that has provided free homes to 3 million people in a country that is basically blockaded. That's Adam Schiff. And so those people don't exist. We're just talking about people's homes in the United States. I can't make those connections according to that woman.
Right.
And I mean, it was like something out of Central Casting of the kind of person that would try to shut me down.
That's just amazing to watch somebody who has an opportunity to ask a question of a very powerful warmonger who's supported by the arms industry, and someone else, another citizen, would say, "Please leave him alone. Please, he's taking time out of his life to come help us."
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She actually, I heard her before say, I love you to AOC and I admire you. And she was there just to take selfies. And it's like, don't even pretend to believe in democracy and talk about free speech. And it's pathetic. The amount of sycophancy that they're enjoying was disgusting to watch. But I'm not going to go scream at AOC and Cori Bush. If they will give me interviews, then yes, I'm going to ask some critical questions. But Adam Schiff is someone who is just such a vile chicken hawk warmonger who actually, I mean, this is the crazy part, because you saw him engaging with Cori Bush and he was giving her a big hug. She was clearly grateful that he was there. He favors putting Cori Bush in jail or fining her, because she is on the record supporting the movement to boycott, divest from, and sanction Israel. And Adam Schiff has actually supported legislation to criminalize the BDS movement, to criminalize the speech of Americans who are in solidarity with Palestine. So he favors criminalizing Cori Bush. There are so many contradictions there that it was impossible not to say something.
So here's what you tweeted. During right-wing Democrat Adam Schiff's photo op, I asked him why he focused virtually all his energy spinning out hysterical conspiracies to ramp up a new Cold War with Russia, driving up a military budget that should be massively slashed and spent on free housing. And here we go, a little bit more.
Representative Schiff, is Putin responsible for the eviction crisis?
Hang on, let me play that again. That's very funny. Hang on.
Representative Schiff, is Putin responsible for the eviction crisis? Is Putin responsible? Is it Vladimir Putin's fault again? Does anyone know where the DNC hard drive is anyway? All you talk about is Putin and Russia raising the military budget that could be spent on housing for Americans. How about Venezuela, which builds free housing for its people? You support sanctions to destroy their housing program for their people. You support every war. What are you doing here pretending to be on Jesse Jackson's side when Jesse Jackson has stood against all the wars you support? He stood against the war. You should be challenged from the left. Jesse Jackson stood against the U.S. war on Cuba that you support, the U.S. economic war. Yes.
Wow.
And that's remarkable. Great job, Max. That was fantastic that you did that.
Thank you.
It really, that really thrills me to see someone actually confronting powerful people in public. And it's also
that's the access that we have if you're there. So again, it's just another reason people should show up if it's still going on.
I encourage people to show. I certainly would have been there had I not had 2 live shows to do this week. And those are booked, sold out, and I have to do them. And so I have to write them. It takes a lot of writing and time. And so that was a bummer. I was hoping if it was still going on next week, I was going to be there. Well, if it is still going on next week, I'll be there. So we'll see. But all right. So you think that what Joe Biden did today, because I'm getting information that he's going to announce a targeted eviction moratorium. He's going a targeted, so wherever the COVID rates are the highest, they're going to not be able to evict people, according to what I'm hearing. And that's done for health reasons, public health reasons.
Those people who want their homes better start getting some COVID.
Yeah, right. So if you can prove you have COVID, will they not kick you out of their house? Again, if they really cared about people's health, they would give us health care. How about that? How about give us health care? If they really cared about people's health.
Exactly. How about, it just goes back to Medicare for all. This is what they get instead of Medicare for all, is a targeted moratorium in places where people are very sick and don't have health care.
And we all know, people who watch this. Go ahead.
Sorry, I got to get this off my chest. There's this disgusting op-ed that just appeared in the New York Times by a person who writes for the Kaiser Family Foundation, calling to raise insurance rates on people who refuse to be vaccinated. So basically someone who works for the nonprofit arm of the insurance industry is calling to raise insurance rate. And I see all these resistance accounts and Democratic accounts actually promoting that. It just shows how detached they are from creating any program that would actually answer these problems, and they actually want to raise insurance rates. So it's just this detachment there, and now that the celebration and the self-congratulation over the targeted moratorium, it's just pathetic.
So the study we reported on this show, they did a study that showed that single-payer healthcare, if we had single-payer healthcare in the United States, would have saved 1/3 of all the deaths from COVID. I'm pretty sure 600,000 people are dead from COVID. That would be 200,000 people that could have been saved if we had single-payer healthcare. So this idea that Trump was the irresponsible one and he doesn't give a shit, he didn't. Neither does Joe Biden and the Democrats. It's one-party system. And we're seeing it play out right now. This is a one-party. You're not getting health care. We're not ending the wars. They're ramping up the military budget. They ramped up the military budget so much already under Joe Biden, enough to end homelessness. They could have done that. They could have given people homes. They're not doing that. They're doing the exact opposite. They're bankrupting people, and they're not giving them a living wage. They're not giving them health care. They're not getting them student debt relief, and they're ramping up the drug war. That's what Joe Biden's doing. He's ramping up the drug war. I'm not kidding. So
that was going to be my next question to Corey Bush is, what do you think of your colleagues abstaining on the voting present on the vote to increase funding for the Capitol Police, which would have been arresting everybody if this actually turned into a proper occupation? I thought we were about defunding the police. Yeah. And I never got to ask that.
No.
I never got to ask Ilhan Omar, why did you vote for the State Department appropriations bill, which pays for military aid to Israel? You're supposed to be on our side there. What's the deal? But these are questions that should have been asked, and we had that opportunity. I don't know if this is going to end, but I just wanted to make another point about Adam Schiff's presence there. It really does feel like, in Congress, there are structural issues that explain the squad's pathetic performance, but there are also personal reasons. You form personal relationships with people, and you could see AOC becoming part of the team after January 6th. They all felt traumatized, and they were psychologically bonding with one another, despite whatever political differences they had, because they were brought together by the out group, the scary Trumpers who had run up in the Capitol and made them feel threatened for their lives. And that's happening again here with Adam Schiff and these, this absolute warmonger, and Chuck Schumer, like the ultimate tool of Wall Street, coming down there to bless their protest. And you lose that personal relationship with these power players who are veterans if you start actually withholding your vote and using it as leverage. And then they start to assassinate your character and demonize you, do what they did to Tulsi Gabbard, who was effectively castigated from the party. And you don't want that. I see it happening. I saw a disturbing display with Nina Turner yesterday, where she's running against a Democrat who's backed by Hillary Clinton, also backed by Democrats for a pro-Israel majority, or whatever that AIPAC front group is, which is one of its major funders is Bob Kraft, who gave Donald Trump $1 million. So you basically have a Trump supporter supporting Nina Turner's opponent. But Nina Turner got a big boost from someone named Bakari Sellers, who is a literal creation of the Israel lobby, whose whole career has been backed by AIPAC. He's basically AIPAC's main black surrogate. He speaks at their convention all the time. His father's a famous civil rights leader, Cleveland Sellers, but he chose to embrace apartheid Israel and to basically become Bakari sellout. Why is he endorsing Nina Turner? It feels like, if I want to be conspiratorial, that the lobby is hedging its bets, and that if she wins, they want to have some skin in the game, and they want to have someone who's close to her who can limit her propensity to actually speak out against this monstrous lobbying force and in support of Palestinian rights. And it feels like that the process where we see the squad getting brought deeper and deeper into the Democratic Party might have taken place again today by claiming that they moved mountains because Biden gave them what they want, met their very limited demand.
Chicago, we've added a second show August 7th. Go to jimmydorcomedy.com for a link for tickets. We're going to be in Chicago August 7th, and then we're going to Portland. We're going to Sacramento. We're going to, where else are we going? We're going to Las Vegas. We're going to lots of places. Go to jimmydorcomedy.com for a link for all the tickets.